Hello. Our next group to perform this evening is our Symphonic Band II. This group has had a wonderful year as they earned straight excellent ratings at performance evaluation. They have shown steady growth all year and are excited about tonight's performance. Tonight they will open their concert with a British-style march entitled Brighton Camp. This march was written in British style using old familiar folk songs as their foundation. At this time, will you please join me in welcoming to the stage the Symphonic Band II and our director, Dennis Nong.
Hello. I'll tell you some the way Alex says hello. Thank you for your patience in the transition. It's very hard for the warm-up process is so important. Every single day we do the same thing. We're just not ready to just get on stage and play, if that makes sense. So I don't have anybody here to help me warm up band, so we have to do that, and I try to do that as quickly as possible, but there's just certain things we have to do to kind of get ourselves into where we need to be able to do the same thing. We'll cover with Sim 1 in just a few minutes when they come up on stage. Anyway, if you notice, a lot of times with concerts, they usually always try to do a march. And one of the reasons that I do, I guess I'm starting to be what you call old school, an old school band director. And that is the fact that the origination of the concert band itself, the concert band idiom, really started with the march. John Philip Sousa. Have you ever heard of John Philip Sousa, I hope? Yes? John Philip Sousa was the commander of the U.S. Marine Band, President's own Marine Band, for many, many years. And the Sousa marches are legendary as far as what they did for music. But the march is one of the truly American music forms that led itself to the concert band idiom. And we as music educators believe that it's still very, very important to continue to tie history together by teaching march style and the spirit of the march and the different styles of marches, from the 6/8 march to whatever, to the regular 2/4 marches, to the quick step marches, to the circus marches. There's literally thousands and thousands of marches. And so a lot of times you'll hear me continue to do marches just because I believe they have their place in what we do educationally from a standpoint of history. So, so that was the Brighton Camp March. It was kind of written in a British style, using folk songs, British folk songs, as part of their basis. And there's another march that's going to happen a little bit later tonight that's much of the same like as that. Along those lines, the next piece we're going to do, a lot of times when I'm shopping for music at the beginning of the year, it's, you ever buy something because the cover looks good, or buy something because you like that title? Well, sometimes I do that. And it's just like, there's a rhythm machine. I'm a drummer, rhythm, okay, this might be cool. So put those things together. And when I first did this piece for the band, I thought, it's all right. But I thought, educationally, how does this work? And what this is a rondo. Now, rondo goes back to earliest forms of music, classical forms. When we study music history, about different styles that are written, the sonata form, the minuet trio, the variation form. The rondo was usually a movement of a symphonic work. And what a rondo simply means is that generally when you hear, let's say, a march, you're going to hear an intro, and then what's called an A section that repeats, a B section that repeats, then changes keys and goes into what's called a trio. In classical music, sonata form, you'll have like the intro, you'll have A, B, and then a development, and then recapitulation of that opening material, and then what's called the coda section. The rondo has an A section, a B section, goes back to an A section, and then a C section, back to an A section. So it has a particular style, and that's what this piece does. Is a rondo written for the band, and it's going to seem like it has several different contrasting things. And as we continue to work on this, we begin to enjoy what this piece did. So it's called Rhythm Machine by Timothy Broget, and I think it's an interesting piece as far as the structure of it goes, and we've had a good time working on it. So we hope you enjoy Rhythm Machine. like I said, with each of our groups, we have a number of seniors in each group, and the same is true here for Symphonic II band. So if our seniors in this group would stand up, let's start first. We have Allison Miklos, remain standing. We have second row, nobody, but we have Ryan Jones. Please stand. Anybody on this row? And in the back row, we have Elisha Austin Lovelace. In the back, any seniors percussion? No, so let's give these seniors a round of applause. I told the seniors the other day in one of the classes, and I talked to all the classes, and sometimes I can't remember what I said from one period to the next, so I'm constantly getting mixed up. But when you think about graduation, you actually think about the number of hours we have spent together in the band room. It's really quite daunting. It's got to be in the hundreds at this point. I mean, I think we're hundreds of hours in 1 year, much less 4 years. So for them to put up with me for that amount of time, I really appreciate it a lot. But so the same with these seniors. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the time that you've given to this band program. I think Ryan Jones is one of my favorite stories I tell. Because Ryan, I remember meeting Ryan in the 8th grade. And I did my whole spiel, be in the band, try to watch the band. If you don't do it, you'll never know, and stuff like that. And so the bell rang and we left class. And Ryan saw me in the hallway. He goes, "I just want you to know I'm done. I'm quitting. I've done my time. I'm done with marching band." Well, that was 4 years later, and Ryan's one of the best members of this band, most dedicated members, and I'm just really proud. I wish there was a way that I could just grab hold of every student and say, just try it. Just try it. I cannot tell you how many students that I talk to that are saying, "I'm so glad that I did this. I'm so glad that I stayed." Even students who were going to leave after their junior year, who are seniors this year, who are saying, "I'm so glad I stayed as a part of this family that we are." And it's really an amazing thing we have here at Flowery Branch. And I'm sure it's like that in other band places, but other band rooms, but I don't care about them right now. I care about Flowery a lot. And this is as much as my family as I hope that they can see it. And that they're all, I treat them all like my children. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. The final piece we're going to perform this evening is a piece by Robert W. Smith. Robert is a big composer right now as far as high school to middle school literature. He's also big into the drum corps scene. When I was in Spirit of Atlanta in 1986, he actually did our horn book there. Right now, he's doing the horn book for the Troopers and the Madison Scouts. His daughter, I think, is marching with the Troopers. One of his daughters was a drum major for the $1 Million Band, and now just got a job at Jacksonville High School, Jacksonville, Alabama. He's very active as a cadet. Matter of fact, we were at the Vanguard show. The teacher, our guard wasn't there, but my son's guard was. And Robert was there watching his wife, his daughter, who marched Paramount. So he's as much of a famous composer as he is. He's just a regular old dad. He's showing up at different events. It's pretty neat to see him around. But he has done, literally at this point, hundreds of works. And I honestly have never heard of this piece. It's called "The Challenge of Sky and Heavens Above." And very much in Robert's style, but he says a little bit about Pergola. "The Challenge of Sky and Heavens Above" draws its inspiration from the rich aerospace history surrounding the Huntsville, Alabama area. The creative seeds for the composition were found in the novel October Sky by Homer Hickam. Has everybody seen October Sky before? If you've not seen it, it's a great movie. It's a story about a guy who basically developed some of the rocket systems for NASA for the Saturn V rocket. And it was really a great story. A West Virginia native made his home in Huntsville and the aerospace industry through the eyes and courage of a young boy. Mr. Hickam captured the fascination that we find in our dreams of flight. Mr. Hickam was inspired as a young man by the work of Werner von Braun and dreamed to follow his footsteps in the space program. So this is a little bit of a tribute to that gentleman, and I hope you've enjoyed the Symphonic Band too. And after this, once again, we'll be making another quick transition. But thank you for your attendance for watching Sim 2 tonight. So this is "To Challenge the Sky and Heavens Above." We've had a really good time with this piece. I think you'll enjoy it. thank y'all very much. We're going to make this quick transition.